What's good, guys? Welcome back to a very delayed manga reading log. I've been really slacking on my reading, as I've been mentioning in a lot of videos. But, you know, I've amassed some books over the... What was the last one? Like, a bit short of half a year ago. So, if you add it up, it's about what I would probably use to read in a couple of months, but not been really feeling a lot of reading. I've been reading some novels and playing a lot of video games. But, gonna get this video out there. I have some thoughts on the books I read and, you know, have a little bit of notes. Let's see, the last time I did one was August, so it's not quite half a year, but still a good few months. But yeah, let's just kind of get into it. Kind of want to get this one out of the way. So one of the things that really put me into a reading slump was I binged a ton of One Piece. It was actually the first time I had fun reading One Piece. I didn't enjoy the first maybe box sets worth of... about the first box set's worth of story. But I ended up reading through Skypiea, Water 7, and Enies Lobby, and made it about halfway through Thriller Bark, and then I simply had to take a break because I couldn't deal with it. So yeah, I'm about at volume 47 at this point, and it took until Skypiea for me to really enjoy the story. There are some decent moments in the first few arcs, but they just did not really do it for me. As like, I really enjoyed Skypiea, even though that's one of the arcs a lot of people say is really bad. But I think that's mainly anime only people. Manga readers don't seem to have the same issue with Skypiea. But I really enjoyed Skypiea, and Water 7, amazing arc. Enies Lobby, great emotional arc, way better than fucking Alon Park. Like, miss me with that. So yeah, read about 8 omnis worth of One Piece, and that's a lot of manga right there. So I did that over a few days, and it really burnt me out. But I've been slowly getting into it. Half of these volumes are actually from this year, so well, not completely this year, but from Christmas until now. But yeah, I really enjoyed those. What was it? Like 24 volumes worth of One Piece. I just need to get back into it eventually when I have the time. Right now I'm focusing on reading some novels because that's what I'm really enjoying right now, and you shouldn't force yourself to read stuff or watch stuff that you don't really have fun doing, which, you know, I've been enjoying a series like Kimono Jihen volumes 1 through 3 a lot. I sat through that in one sitting, and I've even watched the anime, so it's like, no, not any new stuff, but I just really enjoy the story. It's a really simple battle shonen manga that's released by 7 Seas, which is fantastic. I've been really enjoying it, and I mean, these volumes put out by 7 Seas are not the greatest quality, and they're kind of expensive, but they are still kind of nice looking. I really like the spines on these. They look really nice on the shelf, and it's nice to see 7 Seas get banger licenses every now and then. They release so much random crap, but then they get something like Kimono Jihen or Die Dark or Tokyo Revengers, and then you're like, 7 Seas, you're doing good for yourself, but you do release a lot of weird stuff. Let's see what's up next. Oh, next up we have a manhwa, one that I kind of enjoyed. The World After the Fall. It is nothing special. It's another power fantasy the art is almost identical to Solo Leveling. I'm not sure if it is the same. I can probably check that right now. Do I have a Solo Leveling book on me? I do. Do they have any? They do not. They just have very similar art styles, and it's a very similar story. No, it's a power fantasy game elements. There's a bit more comedy in this with the interaction between the main character and the demon, but these are $20. Yeah, $20 US, 26 Canadian, 20 euros. These are expensive, and I really need Issei Press to branch out and do less of these power fantasy. However, that I know that is kind of difficult because that's what people are reading on the apps, and that's all that's really being produced if you're not into romance or stuff like that. So I don't know. I would like to see some more innovation in the webcomic, manhwa, Chinese manga, Korean manga scene. Not bad, not the best thing ever, but decent, worth the read. Maybe not worth the 20 euros or 20 US dollars, but what can I say? Next up, Seven Seas put this out. You Like Me, Not My Daughter. It was a fun little spin on romance. I know I said I wasn't going to pick up any more odd couple romances, but I mean, it has a MILF. And what can I say? Oh, next up, I have two more manhwas or webcomics or whatever they're. I'm not sure if this one's a manhwa, but this was one of those. This is put out by Blaze, and it's called Heavenly Demon Reborn. These are a dime a dozen, these series where they're Chinese inspired, and they have like this cultivation of mana, chakra, inner spirit, something, and the main character is usually reborn with the knowledge of having been super strong in their previous life. They're reborn into a lesser body, but with these techniques that make them overpowered, and there's usually a revenge plot or something they want to change. And on top of that, this cover is a catfish cover because the art inside is dog shit. Like, I know I couldn't do it better, but don't think you'll be getting this super sexy artwork inside. No, you're getting stuff like this. I'm not sure if it's gonna focus or anything, but it's very, very simple, very not what the cover is showing. Actually, if you pick up the book, I would say look at the back. It's more of a fair representation of the art inside, but this was definitely nothing special. And it, again, super expensive book, $20 US. It's full color, but how long are we gonna be willing to pay $20 for random ass manga that look like shit? And well, not a manga, a webcomic that look like shit inside, and has a mediocre story. I'm gonna be keep picking this up because I'm a sucker for power fantasy. So when you have a person like me who actually really enjoys power fantasies saying that this is mid, you know it's not the best. Next up is a webtoon publication of Webtoon on Scroll, and it's put out by Webtoon himself, and I think is Tower of God. These volumes are ugly. They really don't sell well. Well, they don't. I'm not sure about how they're actually selling, but they don't sell this book well by like how ugly it is. It's available in hardcover as well, and I read through this and at least they don't try to trick you into thinking that it's gonna have amazing art. It has dog shit art, and you're better off just watching the anime if you just want to check out this story, because Again, this is 19 US dollars and it's expensive, and personally I do not believe we're gonna see this entire thing published in English, because the way they're going about it is they're taking the Udon approach by putting out a paperback and hardcover, and when you do that with a new series, you're splitting your sales between two different books, and on top of that, I didn't see a single like ad or anything or anybody talk about this coming out, other than that one time when it was announced, and then after that, like, I didn't even know this had come out, but I had it pre-ordered for like months, and then it just kind of showed up, and it's, I don't know. I'm not super optimistic about Tower of God, and how it'll do in the Western market, and I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it does good, so we get to see other stuff getting printed by Webtoon, but again, there's not so much you can do other than, you know, pick up the books and support it. And if you're not willing to spend the money, you can, you know, go read it on Webtoon. It's on there. I'm pretty sure you can read it for free. Next up, Psalm 100, 7 and 8. Great couple of volumes. I absolutely love the story. It really scratches an itch for zombie media for me, because I'm a big fan of zombies. The Walking Dead was one of my favorite shows for a long time. I have all the comics over there in the shelf, and like, I love a good zombie game, a good zombie story. So Psalm 100 is a great little refreshing comedy, and I mean, the art's fantastic, and the story is decent. So I've seen a few people kind of be like fed up with the story, not really being interested into it anymore, but you know, to each their own. I'm really enjoying it, and I mean, these covers are just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, beautiful books. I can't say much more than that, honestly. Next up, Mashal, Volume 7. I'm a few volumes behind on Mashal. I have 8, 9, and 10 over here. So, you know, just kind of stacking stuff up on the TBR shelf. I really enjoyed this volume. I'm not sure if I wrote down any notes. Mashal 7 more. Yeah, I wrote more of the same. Perfect. What can I say? It's really doing it for me. This comedic mixture of the comedy from one and the fantastical world of Harry Potter, with a great story, and I hope it gets a good ending. It's supposed to be ending relatively soon, I believe, and you know, it's good that series are starting to end sooner rather than dragging stuff out and basically killing themselves slowly. It's much nicer having stories being like, you know what, we've run our course, let's just end it here, cut our losses. Jujutsu Kaisen. I actually enjoyed this volume. I'm not the biggest fan of Jujutsu Kaisen, but I actually really enjoyed it. I think this was the volume where, what's her name? Maki? Is that her name? Where she finally snapped and, you know, had like a power up and beat everyone's ass. Great little volume. Spy Family 8, this is the fairy vacation arc. We get to see a lot more Yor action, which is really nice. We haven't had too much of that, but this was more focused on, well, almost entirely focused on her, and we also had some nice Lloyd and Anya bonding, but definitely cool to see more action from Yor. Can't wait for volume 9 to be out, or is it out? See, that's the issue with being behind on reading. You don't really know what's out and what's not out. I don't see it on here, and it would be on there if it was out. Oh yeah, speaking of 70s getting some great licenses, Candy and Cigarettes. I was put onto this by Zach from Uchu Shelf, and he finds these like very niche series that I always somehow end up really enjoying, and this was one of them. Candy and Cigarettes was a great little breath of fresh air. Good action, great characters, and or just something that's not your ordinary action series, but has a little spin on it. And I mean, these books are absolutely beautiful. Little spine action, great, looks great on the shelf. And I think there's 2 volumes out. I think I have the 2nd volume by my bedside. Yeah, Ragnar Crimson. I picked this up on recommendation of from HVL. Read the first 3 volumes in one sitting. I enjoyed them. It wasn't the best thing I ever read, but it had good action, great art, and then there were some weird things in there. Like suddenly they just pull like modern modern arms out of nowhere, and it was cool. The editions are really nice. It's Square Enix, so they release like 1 volume a year, and their size is very like different. So, but it was a good read. I have the next 4 volumes. I think I have volume 4 right here, which I'm like in the middle of reading. But yeah, I read the first 3, had to take a break, but from the first 3 volumes, I would definitely say I'm going to be picking up the series until they don't publish anymore, and have fun with it. It was pretty good dark fantasy. I also reread my 2nd favorite manga, the first omnibus, Tokyo Revengers. A lot of people hate on this because of the last arc, but it's one of my personal favorites. I binged the first 20 or so volumes. I own the Japanese volumes, and I'm picking up these very nice editions from 7Seas. This one is one of the nice ones with the white paper. All my other ones are the regular ass paper. I'm not too fussed about that, but I wish they were all this edition with this thickness, but what can you do? I'm not gonna try my luck and see if I can find a volume on Amazon with this and keep sending it back until I get the one I want. But I'm just gonna be picking up whenever they come out. They're really nice. For people who picked up this first volume and bought the exclusive, Jump Scare, the cover is inside on the regular one. So get fucked, I guess. Next up, this. I remember reading this. It was dude, this is almost $30. 7Seas. I think this is one of their first mangas. Killing Stalking. Ooh, this is dark. I really enjoyed it. It was very thrilling to read, but I heard it was like people talk about it being like boys love, and I guess I see it, but like if you're reading this for the boys love aspect, I'm sorry, please go seek help. I mean, none of these characters, if you're simping for any of these characters, I don't know. There's no redeeming parts of any of the characters. I mean, you have a stalker and a psychopath. I mean, I picked up volume 2. It's on here. I haven't read it yet because I'm just not really ready to get back into it, but it's probably more of the same fucked up things that are happening in the first one. This is really heavy. Like, they really went all out with this, and it's like that photo paper, so it's very nice. It's also really expensive, but what can you do? They look nice on the shelf, but for the story is definitely not for the faint of heart. So if you're not good with a lot of like the main trigger warnings people have on their stuff, don't pick this up. But if you can stomach, you know, some violence, some rape, some murder, some torture, a little bit of gore too, I believe. Oh yeah, definitely some gore. Then check it out. But if you're faint of heart, please stay away from this. Just save yourself the $30 and you know, read something more lighthearted like Omnibus 5 of 7 Deadly Sins. This was the end of the Hendrickson's betrayal arc, and it was great. I liked it. It's definitely better than the anime, and I am glad I've been picking up the manga. Kind of starting to regret picking up the omnibuses and not the singles, but at least these omnibuses are the oversized trim size, so it's not too bad. But and they're cheaper than buying the singles. But there's also, you know, the box sets, which you can find on Amazon for some amount of money off retail price. But I'm gonna be sticking with these, and I'm just gonna hope that they print the sequel series in this omnibus format as well, because if they don't, it kind of sucks. But I could survive without knowing what happens in the sequel, I guess. But yeah, that's all the manga I read for the last 5 months, I believe. So it's not a small amount of manga, but it's not what I usually read, because I've been in a slump, and you know, that just happens, and you just pick up a volume and read whenever you want. You can force yourself to read, but then you usually don't have a good time. And isn't that what this whole thing is all about? Is, you know, having fun, enjoying yourself. Get it? Oh my god. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like my thoughts on some of these series. Maybe you disagreed. Comment down below. I'd love to discuss some of these series with you guys. But, you know, just do your thing and have fun.